Before we got AT&T Business Internet, whenever we needed to get another device set up in the office, we called Janet's nephew. Charged us in pizza bites and energy drinks. He once renamed the network to New England Clam Router. Professional? Not really. Necessary? At the time, yes. Now we've got AT&T Business Internet. Easy to set up, no nephews required.
AT&T Business Internet. Connecting changes everything.
Running a business means juggling a lot of moving parts. And when your communication tools can't keep up, things start to slip. Missed calls, slow replies, scattered conversations. They're not just frustrating, they're lost opportunities and revenue left on the table. That's where Quo comes in, spelled Q-U-O. Quo is the #1 rated business phone system on G2, trusted by over 90,000 businesses. One shared business number for calls and texts, so every conversation stays visible, organized, and accountable. It works from an app or computer. You can keep your existing number, add teammates, and sync your CRM, letting you scale without adding complexity. And with built-in AI, Quo logs calls, summarizes conversations, and flags next steps, even after hours. Stop missing customers. Stop leaving revenue on the table. Try Quo free and get 20% off your first 6 months at quo.com/tech. That's QUO.com/tech. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers.
Hello, welcome to the Oral Health Podcast as we celebrate 50 years of Smile Month. Now, we're going to do something a little bit different over the next few weeks. You're going to be learning with us about the history of oral health, starting today with the history of toothbrushes. Hopefully, if you're listening to a podcast all about oral health, you own a toothbrush and use a toothbrush multiple times a day. And over the years, they've gotten very fancy, but actually, if we go back to, BC levels of oral hygiene, it didn't look too different. Now, Karen, this is a really interesting topic. I think it's something we don't always talk about. We always look ahead, and sometimes it's nice to look back. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it is amazing, isn't it, when you look back and you see like the Babylonians and the Egyptians had fashioned some sort of uh, device, be it a twig that was frayed, to chew on to obviously clean their teeth. So they saw a benefit in keeping their mouths clean as well as the rest of their bodies. So that for me is really interesting that some people in way back actually did realize that brushing your teeth was important, which, is very forward thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, these chew sticks, as they were called, they basically chewed on these like branches until the inside became frayed. And so it looked very similar to how maybe we would expect a toothbrush to look with all the different bristles. So it's really interesting that yeah, going back as far as that, we were using tools to look after our mouths without even really knowing why, just that it had some sort of benefit to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it did sort of progress from that, where the handles were made of bone or bamboo, which is a full circle because now we have toothbrushes. The handle is made of bamboo so that we can recycle it. So that is really interesting, like from the 1400s when the Chinese were making toothbrushes from pig bristle and setting it into bone or, as I say, bamboo. We're now doing the same again, which is it's quite a good circle, isn't it, really?
Yeah, so the Chinese back in the 1400s, like you said, used bone and bamboo for handles, and they used pig's hair for the bristles. And then when that was moved over to Europe later on, we adapted it to use things like horsehair, which we still use a lot in other areas. I know I play a violin. They're typically horsehair on the bows, so the horsehair is still used. Obviously, we've moved away from putting it in our mouths, but people also use things like feathers which I can't quite wrap my head around. I feel like that would be really ticklish. It's like, do you know what I mean? Just because it's
It's
feathers.
probably not going to be effective. I mean, you're going from one thing to another. I mean, pig hair and horsehair is going to be very hard. It's going to
Hmm.
be really abrasive. To then swapping to feathers, which is probably not going to do very much at all, other than you could probably use the other end of the feather and, use it as a toothpick. But yeah, brushing with a feather is not going to be effective.
Hmm.
So we can say, although they were fashioning toothbrushes, they're not as effective as the toothbrushes that we have now. Um, I mean, what changed the world, and I remember changed the world of toothbrushes, not necessarily the whole world, but was William Addis. And I think everybody has had an Addis toothbrush somewhere in their lives. I believe they became Wisdom, I think, in the end. But
Oh,
they were the kind of first toothbrushes that you had, and you could still get real bristle. Not sure where they were from, but bristle, because it's a natural product, tends to be hollow, so it holds the moisture, which holds the bacteria in it. So we moved away from that when nylon was invented. So we again we moved ahead, and when we're looking sort of in 1844, it was the first toothbrush that actually had 3 rows of bristles. So it's kind of the width of a tooth then. So you're getting a better clean. So yeah, as I say, we went on to nylon in the 1950s, which meant that people preferred them because they weren't as hard and they were better for our teeth, they were better for our gums. So, that was a really good invention then, that it moved to nylon. And now we use polyester as well. So there are different products. And with these kind of materials, we can make the filaments, soft, medium. We can make them children. We can make them shorter. We can adapt the density to actually make them work better for whatever the dental problem is. So that's a big win for us.
yeah, huge development. And I mean, when still talking about manual brushes here, but yeah, like the innovation in the materials to think, oh, actually, someone that's got a sensitive tooth might need a softer toothbrush, or
Mhm.
like we always say, soft to medium bristles is kind of the gold, what we'd recommend for most people. Um, and little innovations as well, things like adding a tongue scraper onto the back of the brush. That was done at some point in time because someone realized you need to clean your tongue. Well, we'll just put it on the back of the brush since it's already in the mouth and people are doing it. So
Yeah.
there's all these little changes that have been made to a relatively simple piece of technology, a toothbrush.
Yeah, simple but hugely important. I mean, when
Yeah.
we look at, the problems that arise from poor oral health, which, again, wasn't known 50 years ago. We didn't have the systemic link between oral health and, problems with our overall health. We're looking at diabetes, heart disease,
Mhm.
stroke, uh, pregnancy problems, low birth weight babies, etc., and Alzheimer's as well. All of these problems do have a basis in oral health. So, um, I think our predecessors were quite smart in the main. They didn't know why they were doing it, but they were doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, and when we jump to and when you think electric toothbrushes, we think of it as a relatively new innovation, but actually the first electric toothbrush was 1939. They were widely used in the US in the 1960s, which we probably weren't doing, but that is something to look upon the innovation. I think it obviously took a little longer to come across the pond, but yeah, but they have changed toothbrushing um, hugely. I mean, we look at the studies, and the studies show that with an electric toothbrush, you're getting a much better clean. So I would say the majority of people use an electric toothbrush now, right from right from childhood, really.
Yeah, I would say so. It's strange to think that at a time when electronic home appliances were very much in their infancy for a lot of people, people had electric toothbrushes.
Uh, when you look at toothbrushes, I mean, the design hasn't changed that much.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. I mean, it has changed in dribs and drabs, like
Mhm,
we've managed to get softer bristles. We've managed to size things for children. We've got special brushes for dentures now that we wouldn't have had at the time
mhm,
when dentures were first made. And we'll talk
yeah,
about dentures in its own dedicated episode because that is very interesting and it deserves its own time. But even things like learning, oh, well, it's good to have a toothbrush that vibrates, but actually having one that spins at the same time, well, that gets even more plaque off. And we can only learn that from doing a lot of research on it.
yeah, absolutely. And over time, we've looked at the shape of the handle, making it more ergonomic. So when you pick it up, you naturally hold it in the best position to reach all of your teeth. We've made the neck thinner and longer, so you can reach the back teeth much better. We've, there's things like that that we've looked at the shape of people's mouths, and as I say, a child's toothbrush will have a smaller head. A baby toothbrush will often be more for the parent to hold as well. So all of this innovation has changed, but fundamentally, we're still with the same sort of, rows and having bristles on whatever you put it in.
Mhm.
It hasn't kind of evolved hugely when you think we're talking about 3000 BC when these first chew sticks were found. So that's not just the last 50 years,
Yes.
I mean, the last 50 years, we could probably only claim that the innovation is electric toothbrushes and just changing the shapes and making filaments, and that sometimes they're different heights when children have got different dentition. So yeah, we've we've come a long way in a long time, and then the last 50 years is almost like sort of honing how well we do it and
Yeah.
getting the technology right. I mean, you can buy a top of the range toothbrush that has an app, and it tells you if you're pressing on too hard, if you've cleaned one quadrant more than you've cleaned another one, and gives you a smiley face when you've done it, when you've hit
Yeah.
the mark,
Not only because
which
I
is
have one of them all singing, all dancing toothbrushes, which was very kindly gifted to me. And not only does it smile at you, it tells you off. If you don't brush long enough, you'll get a frowny face if you don't hit your 2 minutes. And I don't know if it's just because I think that frowny face might be one of the most passive aggressive things I've ever seen,
I
but it
totally
makes
agree.
it
I
makes me
don't use.
want to do it.
Well,
It
no,
works.
do you know what it did to me? It made me stop using the app.
Yeah.
I don't want to be told off by a machine.
No.
I know I clean my teeth well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Oh,
yes, it was telling me off, and I rejected that. But I'm like that with everything, really.
yeah.
I don't like being contradicted, as you
No,
know.
not by a toothbrush anyway. But, but actually,
Oh
you know
dear.
what? We're talking about apps and
Yeah,
important things on electric brushes. We've also now got aids for children where toothbrushes will play a song for 2 minutes that make the kids get used to brushing for things for the right amount of time. That is something that I think is very recent. I mean,
it's reasonably recent. I
yeah,
mean, there's certainly games and things
yeah,
that you can do, and all the um there's a lot of app developers that are looking and doing more oral health things. Um, I mean, I don't think my daughter was quite a clumsy child, and I don't think I would have let her take a smartphone into the bathroom with her. But that's another issue. It may just be her. Um,
no, I don't
so
think I would have trusted me as a young child to take a smartphone into a
uh,
bathroom, but I
I'm
am
not
quite
sure I trust
clumsy.
you with a smartphone now, to be fair,
No, and
Sophie.
you
But
shouldn't.
hey.
And you shouldn't.
Yeah. I think we're gonna, maybe we don't know where it's going to go in the next 50 years because we don't know what AI is going to do. Is that going to be, would there be a person in the mirror that talks to us and
Yeah.
says, right, you've seen that bit and clean in between your teeth and now use that one and I
Yeah.
mean maybe it will. Maybe it
Maybe
will.
we'll get a version of the very fancy, very expensive scanners that you get in dentists. Then you'll have it at home and you
Mm,
can scan round and go, "Oh, I've missed that bit. I've missed this bit. I've
that
missed
would
this
be
bit."
good, wouldn't it?
I'm
That would be
thinking pie in the
good.
sky. Someone's given me £1 billion to make some technology. Is it worth giving a mention to some of the more wacky toothbrush inventions we've seen, even just in the last 2 or 3 years? Like TikTok inventors, let's call them that, where they
Okay.
make, I've seen the very silly ones where it looks like a gum shield, but it's got lots of bristles on all sides of it. And you bite on it and press a button and it goes, and it cleans all your teeth. And the thing is like,
Mm,
clean every single tooth surface in 20 seconds. And it's like,
mm.
they look a bit strange. I don't see that taking
Do you know
off,
what I
to
would
be
like
fair.
to see if somebody could tell the difference, so
Hmm.
somebody uses that and then we use a good electric toothbrush and see if there's plaque left behind. And I think we probably would get a shocking kind of result from that.
Yeah. It would be good to see because it might work brilliantly, but I don't think
I
it will.
doubt it. I doubt it.
No, me
20
too.
seconds is not enough to clean your teeth well, and
No.
it's not moving in the right direction either. I mean, we want small circular movements. We want to clean every tooth surface doing that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we need
This
to
is
do
looks more like a one of them car wash zhuzhies, but for
it.
your teeth. It's a bit
I've just got a
and
picture of you going through a car wash with your mouth open.
oh
That's,
God, that is an awful image.
isn't it? Yeah.
I used
I
to
mean,
love
I've
going. This
seen
is so
I've
off
seen a fair
topic, but I
few.
used to love
I
going
mean,
through them as a child. I thought they
yeah,
were
so did
brilliant.
I. So did I. Yeah, you sit in the car and everything goes dark and it's like, yeah.
Yeah. Get pelted
But
by
I mean,
soap.
when
Right.
you think we've got toothbrushes now designed for people whose dexterity is not very good, and those weren't around. I mean, we used to make them, get a toothbrush and mold it with like
Hmm.
plaster of Paris into the person's hand so they could
Wow.
grip it, put a tennis ball on the end of it so they could hold it. Um, and people still do that. Yeah, we can still do that. But there are gadgets now that you can use a normal toothbrush and attach it to the handle. It's the same thing, just in a slightly different way. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm not expecting to be here in 50 years' time. So you'll have to send me a message
I'll get you on the
via a
Ouija board
medium.
and
Yeah, to tell
I'll
me
let you
what's
know.
happening in 50 years' time. I probably won't care, will I?
Maybe
Yeah.
you do like teeth. I
I
can
do like
update you
tea.
on
I
all
do
the new
like tea.
developments. I would
Yeah.
actually in 50 years like to see more innovation around accessible toothbrushes. Like we can make these foam things and like tennis balls on the end and the big handle so you can just hold it lightly and really lightweight brushes and things. But I don't know, it would be really nice to have something that's much more like sleek and like
Hmm.
pretty, but still accessible?
I don't see why in the future we don't have custom made toothbrushes that actually are shaped to fit our hand. And you could do that with an electric toothbrush because you don't throw away the base, do you? You just change
Yeah.
the head. So that would probably be a good innovation because then when you're holding your toothbrush correctly and it's the brush is staying where it should be,
Hmm.
theoretically you should get a better clean.
I think we're going to end up with ChatGPT or some other AI engine inside a toothbrush before long. So I can finish my clean and it will say, "Oh, good job, Sophie. You cleaned every surface," or like, "Better try harder next
Oh,
time. You've
that
missed this quadrant." And it will know.
Sophie, that's not going to work for you. That'd be out the window.
I would personally not like it, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's where technology went, you know? Someone little guy living in my toothbrush to be like,
Ah.
hey,
You'd be
you did good.
paranoid. You'd be
Yeah,
paranoid. It'd be
yeah,
watching you everywhere you go.
yeah.
It would be that, wouldn't it?
On that
Stuff.
rather terrifying image, I think we'll leave it there for now. Hope you've learned something new, past, present, and future, about toothbrushes. One of the most simple inventions that all of us have used and probably took for granted the amount of innovation that's gone into them. However, next time when you come back and listen to us, what goes the best with toothbrushes? Toothpaste. We're going to be talking about that in the next episode, and we hope that you'll come back for it then.
When everything is moving all at once, your workforce, your tech stack, your business, you don't need more tools. You need one solution. That's why Paylocity built a single platform to connect HR, finance, and IT with AI-driven insights and automated workflows that simplify the complex and power what's next. Because when everything comes together in one place, growth comes easy. Experience one place for all your HCM needs. Start now at paylocity.com/one.
There's a fire inside you can't ignore. Stand still? Not a chance. You're a lifelong learner who's come this far. Now, we're here to help you keep going further. Capella University. What can't you do? Visit capella.edu to learn more.
While every other channel is fighting for your customers' attention, podcasts are where they've already given it. No one accidentally listens to a podcast for 45 minutes. They choose to be here. They trust the voice in their ears, and when that voice talks about your brand, it doesn't sound like advertising. It sounds like a recommendation from a friend. Acast gives you that trust at scale. Digital precision, host-read authenticity, and performance data that proves it worked. Don't fight for attention. Buy it with Acast. Learn more by visiting acast.com/advertise.